Good morning, everybody. Wow, I feel loud. That was so sorry if I hurt your eardrums just then because I hurt my own. We're so excited that you're here. This is Coffee and Cookies. My name is Lindsay, your beautiful co-host for today. And the other co-host is Nick. He's going to say hi now.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Coffee and Cookies. My name is Nick. That is Lindsay, who's known as the beautiful co-host.
That's right.
I love it. I
actually got a comment yesterday about how I needed to adjust my mic so that you could see more of my beautiful face.
From who?
Somebody.
Not going to name drop.
I'm not going to name drop. No.
That's greatness. That's greatness. So welcome to the show. We have a guest today. And you want to know what's great about this guest is this guest is going to, when this guest comes on the show, you know great discussions are going to happen. Okay. And they're going to happen because this man is willing to talk about the quote unquote elephant in the room. He's willing to talk about what's going on in the world. And he's willing to talk about the crazy decisions that you need to be asking yourselves as a man of the household, as a woman of the household, as being leaders in this current environment. I want to welcome the owner of Dead Religion, David Gonzalez. Welcome, brother.
Yo, happy to be here. I am maybe not as beautiful as Lindsay, but certainly have some beauty to myself. So we'll just call myself the pretty guest today.
Pretty guest.
Now we have
the beautiful
one,
guest.
the pretty one.
Co-host.
There it
That's
is.
right.
There it is. That's what it is. I like it. It's just so much beauty today. I love it.
Yeah. What you got, Nick? What you got?
Oh, I'm just handsome.
I'm
just flat out handsome.
There it is.
There we go.
Yeah.
Handsome Nick. There you go.
That's what it is. Handsome Nick. I love it. No, happy to be here, man. Love coming on the show, talking to you guys about any and everything, man. I know sometimes people like to shy away from things, but we like to confront them head on. So I'm looking forward to the conversation.
There you go. So I'm going to do a little split screen action real quick. We got all three of us on here. You know, it's funny because what you guys don't get to see, and I need to change this. At some point in time, I need to get a fourth camera up so people can just hear the conversations, like the pre-roll conversations, because you were talking about how God's just moving with different things in your life, with houses, with vehicles, with family.
Yeah.
Right?
God is good all the time.
And life without God?
Oh yeah, life without God sucks.
Hold on. We're gonna zoom in on that.
Yeah, life without God sucks.
There you go. There you go.
If your life sucks, it's where's your
God
God
at?
have
God?
Where's God at?
Maybe you just need to have that positive outlook shift if your life is sucking right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I mean, how many people say, "Oh, I believe in God. I believe in God," and then sit on their hands?
You know, it's funny you say that because one of the things that is like a big pet peeve of mine is the people that like say like, "Oh yeah, I go to church and like I believe in God," but like I know LeBron James, but I don't know LeBron James, right? Like I don't really know him like that.
There you go.
I don't got his phone number. I don't got his address. Like I really don't know LeBron James. And so people
what do you
that
mean?
say,
he's all over social media. I know him.
Oh yeah.
I know him. I know his attitude. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, but people treat God the same way, right? It's like oh, I know God, but do you really know him? Have you taken the time to really know God? Like, what's your relationship with him? Yeah. See, I don't have a relationship with LeBron, but I know who he is.
So when are you going to write a book? I'm just serious. Like, that was a great analogy. That was an absolutely amazing analogy because people can relate to that, right? I mean, how many people have sit in church? Okay, even better. How many people watch church online and go, I know God.
Yeah.
Great. Seriously, like when was the last time you actually had a conversation? When was the time you pulled out the Bible? When was the last time? And you don't have to pull out the Bible anymore. You have a Bible app on your phone.
Yep.
And here we go. You ready for this? Several.
Yes.
Lindsay got several. She gonna one up everyone.
All translations. All of them.
Well, but here we go, right? And even if you don't have time to, maybe you're not a strong reader. The Bible app will read it to you.
Exactly.
We'll
They're just
read it
making
to
it
you.
easy, man. They're just making it easy for people to get their daily dose in, man. But most people, hey, look, some people won't even take the daily dose.
So I grew up in church, and I guess I could say like my journey with the Bible has gone like just stale. or stagnant. And so a lot of people that have grown up in the church are like, oh, I know what the Bible says. I don't know. I already know what the Bible says. Like, I've memorized it since I was 4 years old. Like, I know. But the thing is, and you know, maybe you have a hard time when you're reading the Bible of studying it the way that like pastors do or whatever the case may be. There are apps out there. Like I just got a new app and I love it because it takes the Bible and then it kind of gives you like a lesson, like a study lesson every day. It's called The First Five.
I love
and
that.
I love how, and then it asks you a question at the end to reflect. And that's where I'm like, this is so good. Like, this is where it gets deep for me because it's not just, oh, I'm listening and I'm doing good. But now I'm like, oh, like, let's take that into my own life and take that deeper.
Yeah. I love that you say that because it's so true. Most of us have, we read the Bible, but we don't know how to translate it in our own words. We don't know how to interpret it in a way that we can dumb it down.
We don't have the understanding, the history, the background, why did it matter?
Yeah.
That the bride waited a week.
Yeah. And that's a good point because like every number that's in the Bible means something, right? Like why did the Israelites have to travel through the desert for 40 years? Well, the number 40 means a period of testing. And so we'd like read it and think, oh, 40 years, that's a long time. But there's
for
a specific
an 11-day
reason.
Journey.
Yeah, for an 11-day journey.
Why did it take 40 years? Like,
exactly.
were they walking backwards with their eyes shut and upside down? Like, seriously.
The other thing that I've really enjoyed about the Bible now is like figuring out what the Hebrew word means for certain things, right? Like love, for example, like there's agape love or there's, chronos, right? Like these are different words that are in the Greek or in the Hebrew that when you actually read the word in its context, it gives a whole new meaning to what you're actually reading.
But then you would have to know, oh, well, this original language was Hebrew and this was originally written in Greek. And like each book is different. How do you know? Like there's a lot that goes into really knowing and understanding the Bible.
Absolutely. It's the gift that keeps on giving, right?
But that's right. I mean, here we go. And I'm gonna put this into a relationship standpoint, right? When you start talking to someone, and then you start dating them, and then you start courting them, and then you decide to marry that individual, right? There's different levels you go through. You get to learn a bit more about that person, right? A lot of people stop at the, hey, I'm friends with God. A lot of people stop at the, hey, we dated for a little bit, right? And they never took that next step to go, hey, what are the different? We use the word love to mean a lot of different things. The Hebrew used very specific different words for different types of love. But you have to be willing to go a little bit deeper. Yeah. Right. You have to be willing to invest that little bit of extra time. You have to be willing to invest a little bit into that relationship. Right?
Come on.
And you get these, you get people who they stop at that friendship level. And then they say, yes, I'm a Christian. Great. Good. I'm glad you're a Christian. But then, here we go. You ready? 5 minutes. With all the apps out there, you can literally take 5 minutes a day. Okay. And if someone could do some math for me real quick, do 5 times 365.
1825.
Okay. Now divide that by 24.
76.04.
And somehow my math is wrong on this. That number doesn't make sense to me. That's okay. I'll come back to you with the right. But if you spend 5 minutes a day, that's how many minutes a year?
Oh, you want to know like the percentage of 5 minutes?
No, just day? 5 minutes a day is how many minutes per year?
1860 something.
Okay, 1864. Divide that by 60. That's what I was looking for.
Okay.
30.4.
That's 30.4 hours a year. That's barely over an entire day.
Yeah.
And how much movement can you make in just 5 minutes?
Yep.
And you know what I really liked about this app is that you can go back in and you can review all of your, like, they call them moments, my moment at the end of this thing. And you can go back and see, like, where was your mindset at that point in time?
Oh, that is good.
And you can reflect back.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's good.
Yeah. So if you need an app to help you dive deeper in the Bible, First Five.
And I'm going to ask you to please find the URLs for Apple and Google. Drop those in the comments. That was an interesting conversation. I'm gonna let that go. That was not on the agenda. We're gonna hop over to the agenda, and the first thing we're gonna talk about is this book right here. Okay, now this is something if you're doing the Mighty Men Path at Elevate Life Church, you've started this book. Okay, and we're on day 2, so you should have read the first 78 pages, and then chapter 1, and we're on chapter 2 now. Okay, so what is Socon? Because this is my first year to do it.
Ooh, nice.
What's with the $1?
Yeah, I was totally noticing that.
Are you ready? That's my bookmark.
Oh.
Because it's less expensive to just use $1 as a bookmark than to actually go buy a bookmark.
That is actually so true.
Come on.
It is.
Mind blown.
Right? Right? And it's funny because like my big books that I have, I've taken that $1 and I've put zeros on the end of it. So it's $1,000 or $100,000 or $10,000.
You know, writing on it doesn't make it
It's a mindset thing. It's a mindset thing.
Okay.
It's a mindset thing.
I know what to get you for Christmas. I'm going to get you a $1 million piece of paper.
Yes, that's on my dream board. Absolutely.
Come on.
That's the goal, right? Pastor Keith says when Pastor Keith says I want to raise up millionaires and billionaires, I know my name is attached to that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When Pastor Keith drops that kind of promise, I know.
100%.
Yep. Yes
Anyway,
and amen.
Yes
You
and
asked
amen.
the question. What is Socon?
Great question. So Socon is a book. It's actually a challenge.
It's a challenge.
And on the cover, it'll actually say it's for men only. So it is geared towards men. However, I know a lot of women and ladies and spouses and partners who are actually like doing it with their husbands as well. So ladies, I salute you and I commend you as well. But the gist of it is Socon is short for soul control. Your soul is your mind, your mind, will, and emotions. And it's essentially what I would like to call a self-discipline challenge that makes you spiritually fit to fight the battle, fight the good fight, so to speak.
But it's not just a spiritual fitness, is it?
It's not. It is not. There's a lot of correlation to the spiritual fitness aspect of it, but it is very much a physical fitness aspect here. So
There is a yes.
I don't know if you guys remember from the last episode, but we were talking about how I like my dessert with a little bit of coffee in terms of how I drink my coffee. But one of the challenges is actually to drink black coffee. So in this cup is black coffee, or like what I like to call it, Satan's water.
That's so true.
But there's a
What
lot
he'd
of
really like to be having would be this.
yes, that's heaven in a cup right there. That's heaven in a cup right there. But yeah, so there's a lot of other challenges that come with it, right? So there's push-ups, there's sit-ups, there's running 5Ks, right? And it's timing yourself, and then there's a dietary challenge to it as well, right? So you're cutting out carbs after 3 p.m. Bad carbs, right? Like you can do your brown rices and your sweet potatoes and things like that, lean meats and stuff like that. But the idea behind it is to, first of all, have self-discipline. And obviously not to do it alone, to get with other men, form a brotherhood, get that accountability going, and then challenge each other. Although you're only in competition with yourself, it's really just to encourage you to push outside of your comfort zone and to do things that you wouldn't normally do. There's a lot of guys that maybe are out of shape or overweight, or maybe they have, medical, issues or things like that. And so they would never do this on any day of the week. But because brothers are doing it and because it's feeding your spirit, it gives you that extra motivation to say, you know what, with God, all things are possible. So as long as I can do this and cross the finish line, the time doesn't matter. The amount of your push-ups don't matter. Your sit-ups don't matter. But we just want guys to be challenged with the sense of, hey, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. And I can continue to improve as long as I'm consistent and I don't halfway do it. I do it all the way. So that's what that challenge is. It's I did it last year and I was kind of disappointed because I didn't do it with a bunch of guys. I kind of did it by myself. And so where I could cut corners, maybe I cut a corner or two, or maybe I cut corners the entire time, right?
Right.
But nobody knew.
But nobody knew, right?
Right.
There was no accountability. And so with accountability being one of my core values, it was like, you know what, let's go all in. Like, let's really do this and let's really immerse ourselves in this. And what I love about Cody Beauvais and just the way that he writes the book is that there's like a devotional, so to speak, but it just ties in so well to, like, he always casts the vision on what it is that you're actually doing it and why you're actually doing it, which gives
The
you more
why
purpose.
is a big Big deal. Why is a big deal?
Yeah, absolutely.
It is. It absolutely is. It's what you hit on. What was very important. Okay, and I'm going to hammer down. Could you do this by yourself? Yes. Could you do it lone wolf style? You could. But even wolves travel in a pack.
That's right.
Okay. Could you do it lion style? Yes, you could. But even lions travel in a pride.
That's right.
Okay. So however you say, oh man, I really don't, do I really need other guys to help keep me accountable to this? Yes, you do.
I mean, you could become a cheetah.
Oh, boom, boom, pow. That was a good one.
Cheetahs still have their pack.
No, they don't.
Yes, they
no,
do.
They don't. They hunt by themselves.
They hunt by themselves, but they still go back. The den, there's still a pack.
Is there really?
There absolutely
never,
is.
Never
We gotta
seen
look
that.
this up.
I know, right? Ooh,
Go ahead.
I got Google.
Go ahead. You go
Where's
Google.
Robin Attenborough when you need him?
You go Google. You go do Google. Do
tell you-
Google.
I tell you what, I think you make a good point though, because men that isolate themselves are an easy target. You think of the lion, you think of the wolf, right? When they're going to attack a prey to go hunt and to go eat, right, to feed their families, they either get the weakest ones or they get the one that's traveling
That
by
are
itself.
by themselves.
You see what I'm saying?
There you go. Now here we go.
You guys actually need to become cheetahs because cheetahs are the only wild cats other than lions that live in groups. These groups of cheetahs are known as coalitions and are usually made up of,
Wow.
listen to this, they are usually made up of a group of brothers.
Oh, come on.
Shut the front door. Like I knew I was on. I didn't know I was that well on.
Come on. So what
Fun
happens
fact,
to the sisters?
Fun fact. I don't know. I don't know.
But here we go, right? And you nailed it, right? Like even
Maybe they're in sheolitions.
Sheolitions. I love it.
I love it.
So even within the mighty men, or I'm sorry, even within the Navy SEALs, and the reason why we know so much about Navy SEAls is the person who leads the mighty men is a Navy SEAL, and he talks about you always have your swim buddy.
Yep.
Right. If you watch any kind of movie, if you watch any kind of military movie, even the recon teams, it's a recon team. It's not a recon individual.
Yep.
Right.
Absolutely.
So yes, you always need, and I'm not saying you have to have a massive group of people, but have that core 2 or 3 accountability.
Yep.
Right.
And look, it's not the most difficult thing. Obviously, it is meant to challenge men, but the whole premise behind it is we as men, and I think really as the body of Christ, we should be boldly stepping before, people in the world and being able to not only speak of the gospel and say, hey, let me tell you what God did in my life. But it's kind of like the analogy of like, hey, let me tell you how to make $1 million. Oh, well, are you a millionaire? No, I'm not. Would you listen to them, right? I know I wouldn't. But the whole point of this book and the whole point of the challenge is to get yourself to a place where you can say, hey, you know what? This is what I've been through. This is where this helped me. And I love the stories that he shares. There was a particular story there where he was on a mission trip and this lady went in and had I think an asthma attack. And she was either going to die or was very close to it. And, he helped out. He had some medical expertise and stuff, and then took her to the hospital. And the very next day, she came back ready to serve. Like, hey, let's go all in. And he asked her, what are you doing here? And she said, oh, you got to leave it all out on the field. And so how many of us would go through that and be like, oh, well, you know what? I can't today. My head hurts or whatever the case might be. Right?
I'm recovering.
Yeah, I'm recovering. Right. Well, it wasn't like that for her. And he was challenging us as hey, that's exactly how we should be. We should be men who want to actually leave it all out on the field because we got too many cookie cutter Christians, man. We got too many cupcake Christians. You know what I'm saying? So we got to put the cupcake down. We got to put the cookies down, man. And we got to get, we gotta hit this thing right, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's a great challenge. I will say it's a struggle.
Because we all love a good cupcake.
Well, here we go.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
And here we go. Right. It's funny. I was reading the other day, and a guy quoted this. He said, have we really come to a point where eating healthy food is now considered being on a diet? Right? Is eating a salad, eating chicken, now that's considered a diet. We've gone so far into processed foods and so far into this unhealthy direction now that, oh, hey, you're going to eat a salad. Oh, are you on a diet?
Right.
Like, no, I just want to eat healthy. Why? Because this is what God gave me. I need to be taking care of this.
Yep. Health is wealth. And, the body is the temple. And, I don't know about you, but I would not graffiti or vandalize, a church or God's temple. So why do we do that to our bodies by the way that we eat? You know what I'm saying? So I think what's funny about this is that I don't have the slightest clue about the science of dieting. Like, I don't care what nobody says. You start talking about quinoa and 6 ounces of oats and blah. Man, listen, scientific math was not my favorite subject in school. So if you can't dumb it down for me where it's like, okay, eat this and eat that. Right. Plus, I'm Puerto Rican, right? So I eat white rice and beans with just about everything. So having to switch from white rice to brown rice, I feel like
That's
I'm
like cardboard. It's like going
exactly.
from rice to cardboard.
I feel like I'm eating bird food. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I'm eating seed. Like I should be plucking at it or something. You know what I'm saying? But
Need to get you some chopsticks and eat it one grain at a time.
Exactly. Seriously, but it's
That's how I would eat rice with chopsticks. One grain at a time.
Did you never learn how to make sticky rice?
Brown rice is not sticky rice.
That's a
It's
good
not
point.
the same thing.
That's a good point. I feel like it's a grain, but they call it a rice.
Type of rice.
Yeah.
It's not all rices are sticky rice.
I have no idea what we're talking about right now.
Anyway, so Sean's wondering where he can get the book.
Oh,
Socon.
so that's a great question. First of all, you should come to church, Sean. Come to ELC. Come holler at us at the Mighty Man at 9 a.m. or excuse me, at 7 a.m. on Saturdays, and we will get you right. That's first and foremost. But if you're not in the area or whatever the case might be, you can actually get it on Amazon. That's where we actually got it from. There's 2 different versions. It's the white book and the black book. They're all the same. I think just, get whichever one you like, whichever one's going to look prettier when you're reading it and make you actually want to read it. Get that one.
There's also a workbook.
There is.
There is a workbook as well.
Yeah, you can get the workbook too, which kind of just enhances everything. But again, I would highly encourage you, if you really want to get the book, do it with somebody. And don't do it with somebody who's going to who's got one foot in and one foot out. Do it with somebody who actually wants the same thing that you want, that really wants to grow, wants to really go all in on this. Because even yesterday I was doing my 5K with a friend of mine, and he's not a runner, right? Like, I'm more of a runner than he is, but he's a lifter. So he did 80 push-ups. I only did 30, right? But him
Everybody's
going
got
80,
their own strengths.
Exactly. And him doing 80 was like, okay, if he can do 80, I can do 50. And so that's that extra oomph of okay, hey, I can go 35, I can go 40, right, as I continue to try to improve. And I got that mark now where for him, he wants to improve his run. Like, hey, I kind of slowed us down. I want to make sure that, I'm not the reason why we're having to walk or, whatever the case might be. So again, do it with somebody who is going to hold you accountable, somebody who doesn't get offended easily, somebody that you can call at at 5 a.m. or 5 p.m. whenever it is, and it's going to actually stick to the schedule and stick to actually doing it. Or hell, do it together. Do it together. Read it together. Do the challenges together. But highly encourage you to pick the right people to do it with, man. And if you don't have anybody, man, DM me, bro. We'll do it together, man. We'll get you added to our group chat, man, and you can partake
That's
in this,
awesome.
man. So yeah,
There you go. That's the heart that you want to be around. That one, okay, the one that says, "Message me." If you don't have someone positive in your life, speaking that positive into you, trying to help keeping you accountable, help leveling you up, help you leading your family, message me. That's why he's on the show. Okay. That's why we bring people like him and Gary and these other individuals here, because you need to hear other men are doing this. Yeah. Okay. And here we go. Right. Topic number 2. And
Hey, Sean, Nick might not be awake at 5 a.m. Just FYI.
I am absolutely awake at 5 a.m. Do you know my household?
Yes, they like to sleep in.
Yes, they do. That's when I get my quiet time.
Exactly.
That's when I get my Nick time.
Oh, yeah.
So but here we go. Ready? Let's talk about this. Topic 2, and if we're able to get to topic 3, we'll get to topic 3. But let's talk about topic 2, because this one is going to make some people uncomfortable. Okay, deal with it.
Well, here's the thing. If what we talked about with Socon Challenge made you uncomfortable, then you might be part of the problem.
yeah.
Of the
But let's not go down that direction. Let's go to topic 2. Let's go into topic 2, and let's talk about this. I agree, but it's a whole nother different direction, and I want to talk about this. So let's talk about the mandemic, okay? And the mandemic, go ahead and define it.
So for me, we talk about the pandemic, the scamdemic, the plandemic, everything related to what's going on in the world today. But the real pandemic, in my opinion, is what I like to call the mandemic. And the mandemic are men who refuse, or for whatever reasons have made excuses as to why they cannot lead themselves and they cannot lead their families. And I feel like we've had so many men right now that are just drifting through life, just kind of going with the flow in the rat race, trying to chase the dollar, or trying to chase the women. And they're failing at home life. I know so many public successes and private failures that it's not even funny. And yet nobody's talking about that. What we don't have is a pandemic, but we really have a mandemic. That's what I think it is. That's what I define a mandemic as. Men who just refuse to do above and beyond what it is that they need to do in order to live healthy, legacy type lives. Especially when it comes to marriage, there's so many men that are waiting for the wife to change. Well, if my wife did this, then I would do that. Or, oh, well, my baby mama doesn't let me talk to my kids, or, I'm having issues with her, and so you're taking it out on your children. Well, guess what? You're you, and you can only control you. And wherever you go, there you are. So if you are going to make these types of excuses as to why you can't do something, then guess what? You're part of the mandemic.
Mic drop. End show.
Did you hear what he said? You are making the excuse. And I'll take this, and I'll target men, but I'm also going to hold the women accountable for this. Okay?
Oh, ladies, we ain't done with you either.
As men, you are supposed to be and should be the leader in your household. Okay? If you are not doing that, and you are not controlling yourself, and you are not setting the direction, and you are not being a positive influence in your household, this is the mandemic. Now, women, hear me on this. If you are not being a supportive spouse, if you are not being a leader in your household, if you are not positively keeping your man accountable or keeping your spouse accountable, you're part of the problem.
That's right.
Okay? Now let's flip it, okay? Men, I'm almost done. Men, let's flip it, because at the end of the day, it takes two people to lead a household, right? If you are married, it is a team. It is a team. Yeah. So let's go down that direction now. As a man, if you're not keeping your wife accountable, if you're not elevating her, if you're not being her support, if you're not leading, then you're part of the problem.
Absolutely.
So here we go. I say all this because as a man, you're leading, and as a woman, you are leading, and you should be leading together. Okay? You have to be leading together. You can't say, "Oh, I'm not going to lead because of my ex."
Right.
And ex is not ex relation. Put whatever term you want to put in there. Put whatever excuse you want in there, right? You, like you said, you can control yourself.
Right.
Okay. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. If you have a spouse that's not going to get on board with the direction that you're setting for your family, I'm not saying it's going to be easy, right? But how are you actively moving yourself, and especially if there are kids involved, how are you moving your kids forward so they can see, you want to know what? I really want this. I really want to go in this direction. Go ahead, Lindsay.
Are you done? I was waiting patiently.
I am not done, but
keep going.
No, because we're running out of time.
Oh. So when y'all were talking, I was just like deep diving, and I really think that on both sides, some of the biggest issues that lead to the mandemic or the she-demic or whatever you want to call it is getting offended.
Ooh,
that's a good one.
Getting offended by your ex or this person or that person or that. Forget it. Or like, I know people that get offended, and so they're like, well, I'm going to cause drama.
Oh my God!
I'm gonna make drama.
Vindictive. Yep. Yep.
That's part of the problem too.
That is part of the problem because you've chosen to now be a thorn in that person's side. You've chosen to now be a bad example for your kids. Hear me on this, okay? This situation is right now happening within within a family who is right outside my sphere of influence, but I'm hearing about it. Okay. And the kids are seeing it. And now they're going out into the world and they're recreating the same dysfunction that they're seeing at home. Now, hear me on this, right? It's a conversation that I've had with other kids. Hey, is your kid starting to act this way because they're seeing it from other kids? No, they're not. They're seeing it from the adults and they're recreating it. Pastor Keith said this world is so full of dysfunction and weirdness that when you actually get people into function and into greatness, they feel weird.
Yeah.
Right? They feel a little off. It's unfamiliar. That's a great word. And hear me on this, right? You need to get to functional. You need to stop blaming everyone else. You start taking accountability for your own actions. You are where you are because of the decisions you made, whether they're good or bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay?
But here's the thing. You can stop making those decisions and change how you make your decisions anytime you want.
So here's what I'd like to say to that. Kings do not hang out with peasants. And I'm not calling people peasants. I'm not like demographically speaking here. But when you are the head of your household, whether you're the man or the woman, because I know there's some single ladies that are running their households, right?
Absolutely.
When you're the king or the queen of your household, that's who you are, right? Everything goes through you. You have the final say on everything, right? Back in biblical times, if a king gave a decree and he sealed it, there was nothing anybody could do. Everybody had to follow suit, right? And so as the head of your household, you are the kings of your household. Kings do not hang out with peasants. So kings need to hang out with royalty. They need to hang out with people who are like-minded. They need to hang out with people who are running kingdoms and who are trying to do it effectively. For women, women are always like, oh, I want a king. I want a king in my life, right? But if you don't walk like a queen, how are you going to attract a king? Same with men. Like, oh, well, I want this chick to look like this, and I want a wife that does this and cooks and cleans and does all this stuff. Well, how do you cook and clean? Like, how do you maintain your kingdom? Because if you want somebody to come in there and transform your kingdom, then you're doing it backwards. It starts and ends with you. You don't have to wait for the wife to do it. You don't have to wait for the partner to do it. Like, you have to do it. And you're not doing it because she's worthy or he's worthy. You're doing it because you're worthy and because you know who you are.
There you go.
That just sent chills.
There you go.
Yeah, that was good.
So that, for me, that's why the pandemic is so bad, because it starts with, oh, well, my dad did it this way. Oh, well, this is what I watched growing up. Or maybe you didn't have a father at home, or maybe you didn't have a mother at home, right? So like, you're only trying to learn from what society teaches you. But someone taught you how to run your kingdom. And if you don't like the results of where your kingdom is going, well, it's going to lay in ruin until you make the decision to say, you know what, I'm going to do better because I want better. And even though, and that's how you break cycles. That's how you break chains, right? Like, my dad wasn't necessarily the greatest example, right? Like, I watched him do some things that I know he's not proud of. But at the end of the day, I could have made the choice to either follow in those footsteps or change the narrative and run my kingdom a different way. And that's why I feel like the mandemic is so bad, because everybody wants what they can't have, because you want what you are not even yourself. Like, if you're not that, you're not going to attract that. So you've got to become that, and then you will attract that.
It's funny because, and I love what you said, right? I want a person who's going to come and do X for me. And whether male or female, I want someone to come into my life and they're going to solve this X issue, right? No, you need to solve this issue, right? You need to work through it. You want to attract a queen? You better be walking, talking, and living like a king.
Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
Or maybe you're to a point where you're like, I'm trying to get to there. I'm trying to get to my first million, right? Well, then what young lady, or if you're a young lady, what man can you bring next to you that has the same goal and direction?
Oh yeah. Like, you know how many women want millionaires, but they don't have millionaire mindsets. They don't live millionaire lifestyles. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
and we're
they
not
do.
talking about monetary.
Hold on. Here we go. No, not even lifestyle. Mindset.
And
okay?
that's totally different.
That is very different.
Totally different.
Very different. I don't need Amber to have a millionaire lifestyle. Thank you. Millionaire lifestyle for me to get there. Okay.
Right.
But you want to know what? I need her to have the same direction. I need her to have the same mindset. I go to masterminds and I do these things, and because I'm trying to elevate myself, right? I'm trying to level up myself, and I'll take to take to that direction, right? But then I come home and we have those conversations. And the goal is for 2022 is to get her into that room. Yeah. I want her in Pastor Keith's masterminds, right? Yeah. Because I can't just keep leveling up myself unless I'm bringing my family with me. Yep. You know what the greatest thing was? We had the power team at church Sunday night. And my daughter goes, "That's Pastor Keith?" And I'm like, "You want what? That's exactly what I want. Yep. I want you to see the direction that your dad is striving for. I want you to see the man that it doesn't matter what Pastor Keith is doing. If I can get some of his time, I'm getting some of his time, right? Because that's the direction."
Yep. See the standard? Like, hey, look, this is where I'm at now. That's where I'm going to be at.
There you go.
There, you know, and you have that example of like, hey, I can absolutely do this. So I agree with you on that, man. One of the things that bothers me about men is that men say they want wives, but they're actually looking for mothers. They want to be coddled.
Whoa.
They it's going to be okay, baby. Don't worry about that. It's all good. But no.
You mean kiss your boo-boo?
No.
Oh, but you're speaking truth right now.
Man. Come on, man. Like, like if you want a wife, you need to be a husband.
Ooh.
If you want a woman, you need to be a man. You want a little girl? Act like a little boy. It's all good. You're going to attract what you are. It's not what you desire. It's who you are becoming. That's who you attract. So
I'm thinking like, I know your husband. I know my wife. I know your wife. I can only imagine like, my wife would be like, "Really? That's what's bothering you? Like,
yeah.
I love you, but you got to suck it up right now and get through it, right? Like, I love you. Oh, you need some medicine? Great. Here's your medicine. You have 24 hours. You better get back into it.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Like you need that person that's going to help lift you up, but you don't need that person that's going to coddle you.
Yeah, baby you.
Right?
That's the problem. See, women are in relationships with babies, but they really want to be in relationship with men. And there's nothing more attractive, in my opinion, than a man who walks like a man, talks like a man, and lives like a man.
And is a man.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of pretenders out there. There really is.
There's a lot of babies in man's clothes.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Grown babies. The only thing missing is the pacifier.
You ever seen that movie called Big?
No.
Oh,
okay. I feel like I know what you're talking about, but it's not
like Tom Hanks, where he's like a little kid, and then overnight he turns into a man, and he's like trying to live this man's life, and he's 10 years old.
But here we go, right? So maybe you're a guy and you want to know you're listening to this and you're like, wow, you guys are really just kind of man bashing right now. No, we're not. Okay, if you feel that you're kind of being man bashed right now, or you feel you're kind of being spouse bashed or women bashed, or you feel like you're being called out. Hear me on this. Don't be offended. Okay? If you feel like you're being called out, that is the first step in going, I can level up.
Yeah.
Oh, I can become better.
I don't need to be like this.
So here we go, right? If you're feeling offended, that is in you. Yeah. That is not the people on this show. Mm-hmm. Okay? Yeah. Now here we go, right? If you feel offended, then you go, okay, I hear it. I see it. I can control it. Therefore, I can change it. Mm-hmm. Now, how do I change it? I'm going to tell you how you change it.
Take off the stilettos.
I'm going to tell you how you change it, okay? You need to get in the room.
Yeah.
If you are a man and you want to change it, Saturday mornings at Elevate Life Church at 7 a.m. is when it starts. So you better be there at 6:45. If you're earlier, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late.
Yep.
Okay? And you get in the room.
Yep. Also Wednesdays. We're starting up marriage classes again on January the 12th, this Wednesday.
And you don't have to be married to go.
You don't. You absolutely don't. And you know what? You don't have to have problems to go either, right?
Right.
That's another part of the mandemic, is that there's too many men that are being reactive in their relationships and not being proactive in their relationships. So be proactive, man. Like there's always a tool that can always be sharpened. There's always an extra. I like to use gun references, but there's always an extra clip that you can load into the gun, right? Like at the end of the day, you're preparing yourself for what may come, right? the worst time to get prepared for a storm is during the storm. The best time is before the storm. So
There you go.
If you guys are like, hey, you know what? I just want to improve. I want to take my marriage to another level. Everything that I have designed or that I actually want or that I have vision for my marriage, I actually want that to come to pass. You got to start by taking action, right? Like lip service is only going to get you so far.
And if you're single and you want to prepare for your marriage.
That's right.
Or
Like
if you're dating, or if you're engaged.
Fiance.
We had somebody on a few weeks ago that he said, we worked on ourselves so much before we met that when we got married, it wasn't hard. It's fun and it's enjoyable. And I like being married. And there's so many
Correct.
people that go through that honeymoon phase and then it's over. And then you're like, oh,
So here we go,
this
right?
is the real world.
So we have Mighty Men Saturday morning. You have marriage, dating, whatever class Wednesday night.
Yep.
And then you have your services, okay? You have your services. You have your 9 a.m. service. You have your 11 a.m. service. And you want to know what? We're there. If you're like, hey, I don't want to go and sit by myself, message us.
Yeah.
Message one of us.
Yeah.
Okay. I know Lindsay and her family goes to the 9 a.m. service. I go to the 11 a.m. service.
Yep.
David, when do you go?
I go to both services because I'm always serving. I'm always there, man.
Always there.
You'll find me, man. Go to the floor. You'll find me there. I promise.
Oh, David, are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
They're about to open up the coffee bar.
Oh man,
The
listen,
cafe's gonna be open again.
Yeah.
Listen.
gonna be good.
That means you don't even you can't even be late. You can't even go to Starbucks,
You have no
man.
excuse.
No excuses. And you know what? They'll probably have black coffee there as well. So hey,
They will.
let's do the Socon
They
challenge
will.
and,
There
and
you
get it
go.
on
This is
Sunday
pecan
morning.
black coffee.
Come on, come on.
They're bringing it back.
Ooh, so I have a question. Are the breakfast tacos coming back?
No.
Okay.
Not yet.
Do you
Okay.
know what? They're bringing in breakfast burritos.
Oh come on,
Oh,
come on.
Not a taco, a burrito.
I like it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
They said it's going to be big enough to share.
I like it.
We'll see.
Okay.
So, if you guys have enjoyed these conversations, this is the kind of stuff that you're going to get when you follow Dead Religion.
Yeah.
This is that kind of in your face conversation. So, if you want to be challenged, if you want to level up,
Yeah. If
Get
you want
ready
to
to
step
launch,
outside of your
right?
comfort zone. Yeah, our very first episode airs February the 14th. The reason that was
Valentine's
strategic,
Day.
Valentine's Day, because aside from these in your face type conversations, man, it's all love. Like all we want to see is people improve themselves, improve the quality of their life, have great marriages, be great people, just contribute value and impact to the society wherever you go, right? Like we've been called to be the light. That means you got to light. That means you got to shine your light in darkness. And so, well, that's what we want to do, right? We want to bring the light. We want to bring it to you. We're not going to be, I don't think we're going to be so intense, so to speak, but we definitely are going to tackle some topics that, I don't think a lot of people talk about enough. So,
But
yeah.
that's it, right? And that's why we have these conversations, and that's why we talk about if we just put some light onto your situation and you got offended by that light, okay, good. Now, take your deep breath. And how are you going to make yourself better? You feel a little offended? Take your deep breath. How are you going to start adjusting and pivoting to start making your life better? How are you going to adjust and pivot to start becoming a leader? How are you going to adjust and pivot to start being a better member of your household?
Yep.
How are you going to adjust and pivot to start being a better member of this America?
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
have to get over it to get it behind you.
Come on.
There you go.
The only way through it is to it. That's it.
There
know
you
what I'm
go.
saying? Like
Yeah.
you got to do it, man. Like it's easier said than done. People always say, "Oh, why
Always.
do I gotta?" Growing is so difficult. Yes, that's why they call it growing pains.
There you
It
go.
hurts. Go through it.
hurts.
It
There you
hurts.
go.
It hurts.
Embrace
but it's
the
necessary.
pain.
Yes.
And,
Embrace the
and
suck.
Embrace.
Embrace it. And no, seriously, but don't do it alone. You don't have to lone wolf this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? There's a church that is here for you. There are people on this show that will message you. And honestly, we were talking about starting a group, a Facebook group, where we're going to talk about like our big 3 goals for the week.
Come on.
Right? And all we're doing is just helping people just take that one step forward. How do you make yourself a little bit better? I'm not asking you to scale a mountain right now.
Right.
I'm asking you just to scale the hill.
Right.
Just get over the hill.
Not even that. Just take a step forward.
How about that?
It all starts
There
with
you go.
one step.
How about that?
And It's not about getting over the hill.
David wants the mountain. I want the hill. Lindsay says one step.
It's going to happen one step at a time.
That's right. I mean, hey, how do you eat a whale? One bite at a time.
You
know what I'm saying?
That's gross. But, I get it. Gross.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. All right, we're going to go ahead and end this show. And the reason why is we're at 45 minutes. This was great. Thank you, David, for being on the show.
Always a pleasure.
There's going to be a website coming in soon. There's going to be apparel coming in soon, and his stuff is going to be awesome. So, listen, everyone. Thank you guys for tuning in today. Know that if you're in the comments, we're praying for you. If you've liked the videos, we're praying for you. If you're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, we're working our way to get on Twitter and LinkedIn eventually. This show is growing, okay? So hear me on this. If you want to learn how to do this, I will teach you how to do this, okay? If you want to start your own show so you can help and bless others, let me know, and I'll help you do this. If you want to come be a guest, just like David, let us know. We'll get you on here. Now, here we go, right? Be ready to have these leadership kind of conversations, okay? These are not sales pitches, right? You need to make sure that when you're doing something like this, you're providing value and a benefit. And that is why we have the guests that we have on this show. So message me if you decide you want to be a guest. It's what, Tuesday?
Today's Tuesday.
It is Tuesday. Wow.
Hey, tacos tonight. Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, it's Taco Tuesday. There we go, right?
Yep.
So, hey, you guys, hopefully you took Monday, you wrote down your big 3 for the week. Where are you? Okay, did you get one of them knocked out? Are you halfway through your first project? Okay, or did you get all 3 done already? Now, here we go. If you got all 3 done already, you didn't set the right goals. Okay, it's only Tuesday. All right, you had 3 goals for the week. So let me know where you're at on that. Message me. Let me know where you're at on that. Let me help keep you accountable. And if you want to know what my 3 goals are, I'll share it with you. Okay, but know that you are loved. Know that if you're in the comments, that's how we know to pray for you. Okay, if you want to message David, can they message you?
Oh, absolutely. I welcome all the DMs. Just don't slide in them. Just be upfront with me.
So we're going to end the show. We got some websites to build. We got some social media content to build out. We got some marketing to do. But at the end of the day, please make sure that you
rise up
and then crush it, y'all. Bye everyone.
Y'all.